Hey, 42 here. Every single day, you voluntarily give hundreds of data points to giant multi-billion-dollar tech companies. But, in the worst possible scenario imaginable, how could all this data be used against you? If some corporation or perhaps the government had the motivation to do so? The answer may terrify you. But first, jaywalk, commit crimes, are loud in public, or drop cigarette butts or other litter on the ground. But it gets even scarier. The aim is for the whole system to be automated, and China is working with private companies to actively develop AI systems that monitor citizens 24/7, online and offline. China currently has the largest CCTV network in the world, by a large margin, with over 200 million cameras currently installed nationwide, and the government says they are aiming to increase this to 600 million by 2020. But China's CCTV system has a disturbing difference. It is powered by artificial intelligence. CCTV in China can recognise faces in a split second and match it to a huge database of over 1 billion people. It can even recognise what people are doing in real time. Are they crossing the street illegally? Are they arguing with someone? The camera knows, and if it detects such activity, it can automatically deduct a few points from that individual's social credit score. The cameras are able to recognise license plate numbers and can do the exact same for bad driving behaviour. The social credit system is also heavily entangled with Chinese payment processors such as Alipay, who have helped the government to develop algorithms that can automatically adjust an individual's social credit score based on their spending behaviour. For example, if someone regularly purchases beer, imagine this terrifying system crosses over to the online world. The Chinese government monitors the social media posts and web browsing activity of every one of its citizens. If they post anything negative about China or the Communist Party, then their score is reduced. Similarly, any online activity that China deems to be negative, such as spamming, angry posting, or simply visiting nefarious websites, will put black marks on people's records. People with low social credit ratings are named and shamed in public. Large digital billboards in shopping malls and train stations show the faces, names, and addresses of local residents with the lowest scores. There is even a mobile app that shows the names and locations of anyone with a low score in your vicinity, in real time. Whereas so-called model citizens are venerated on local information billboards in town squares. If a citizen's social credit score falls below a certain threshold, they are automatically placed on a blacklist. Blacklisted individuals are banned from purchasing train or aeroplane tickets. They cannot apply for a loan or rent a flat. They may not even be able to get a phone contract, and their social media accounts are closed down. They are effectively forced out of society and become prisoners within their own home, and they have usually not committed any crime. But the scariest part about China's social credit system is not the system itself, but how the people of China seem to be so openly accepting of it. Whenever Western journalists interview Chinese citizens, all they can do is rave about how much it has improved their lives and community, but then speaking negatively about the system itself is grounds for one's score to be severely reduced. And Chinese expats who have escaped the system tell a completely different and more dystopian story. Also, the entire system will naturally appear more totalitarian to any Westerner because we are brought up with genuine liberties and an individualist mentality, whereas China has a history of the state ruling with an iron fist, and the people are raised in a collectivist mentality, where the state is prioritized over any one person. Whether or not a social credit system would ever be implemented in the West is unknown. For the sake of basic human rights, let's all hope it isn't. But the amount of data you voluntarily hand over to Silicon Valley companies each and every day means they have enough of a digital portrait of who you are to turn on a social credit system tomorrow, if they or the government desired. Google knows your movements, what you search for, and what kind of videos you like to watch. Facebook knows who your friends and family are, the websites you visit, your likes and dislikes, your hopes and fears. Google, Apple or Facebook knows your exact spending habits depending on whether or not you have linked your bank card to any of their services. And this is just scratching the surface. Using complex AI-driven algorithms, these companies are able to data mine facts about you that you may not even know about yourself. They can predict when women are pregnant based on their recent purchases, sometimes before the mother knows. They can predict where you are going on holiday before you even think about booking it. But, of course, China differs ideologically from the West. China uses all this personal data to give the state greater control over the people, whereas the US and most of Europe uses that very same data to sell people products, which I guess is slightly better than putting people in the world's largest open-air prison, as some journalists have equated China with recently. You may have noticed how so-called personalised ads follow you around the web. If you watch a video on YouTube about the latest smartphone, you'll be bombarded with ads about that phone for the next week. Today, ads can get creepily specific. Advertisers can choose to target overweight female cat owners who live on a particular street, are aged between 50 and 54, and have a secret crush on Phil Collins, if they want to. All because of the data that those targets freely gave to companies such as Facebook, Google, and Apple. But, believe it or not, this is only the tip of the iceberg. Over the next decades, advertising is going to become more targeted towards you and more seamlessly integrated throughout your daily life. It will get to the point where you won't know what is and is not an advertisement. As you walk through town on your way to work, screens in shop windows will show you advertisements that only you can see. Everyone else around you will see something completely different on the same screen, personalized for them only. If you ate brand X cereal that morning, then the advertisement will know that and suggest that tomorrow you try brand Y cereal instead. Furthermore, your smartwatch will pick up on subtle biometric clues to learn how you felt about that advert, whether you responded to it positively or negatively. This information will be automatically and silently relayed to big tech, so they know whether or not to show you that advert or similar adverts again in the future. Adverts will no longer be about what you want and desire, but they will be based on your emotions and how you feel from day to day, from minute to minute. Your wearable smart tech will likely be able to tell when you're having a good day and when you're feeling a bit down in the dumps. Your mood will affect the advertising you receive in real time. If you're feeling upbeat and outgoing, you may receive adverts for local theatre shows. But if you're in no mood to go out that evening, you'll more likely receive ads for a new film you can rent on your smart TV. Perhaps right next to another ad for the local pizza takeout. But what if your data is used for more than advertising? What could a dystopian political system do with all that data to make your life utterly miserable? You've already heard about the horrors of China's social credit system, but could it come to the West, and could it get any worse? Unbelievably, yes. The first way that your data could and is being used against you is in the court system. Eyewitness testimonies are fraught with issues. They have been proven to be unreliable by numerous studies. But what is extremely reliable is your digital data. Police are increasingly using data collected from people's phones and various smart devices to collect evidence for a court case. Recently, a woman in Pennsylvania accused a man of raping her during her sleep. But when police examined the data logs of her Fitbit, it revealed that she had been awake and walking around at the time when she reported the rape happened. So, instead of the man being charged, the woman was charged with false reports to law enforcement, false alarms to public safety, and tampering with evidence. Had it not been for her Fitbit, she may have gotten away with it. But what if a Chinese-style social credit score came to the West? Well, perhaps it's already here. The banks and various finance companies already use a tried and tested credit scoring system to decide whether or not to lend an individual money, but it's fairly one-dimensional. It checks your address history, your voting record, and how good you have been at paying back loans in the past. But there's a new credit reference agency in town, Lendo. Lendo is a Singapore-based company that currently only operates in emerging economies such as Mexico, the Philippines, and Colombia. But it's testing the waters for profitability, but if it is a more profitable model than the traditional credit score industries, then it will be difficult to stop it from entering the US and European markets. Instead of looking at your borrowing history, Lendo analyzes your social circle. It looks at who you're friends with, what they do for a living, their hobbies and behaviours. The idea is that if you surround yourself with a circle of what some people may refer to as lowlifes, then you yourself are less likely to be financially responsible and pay back your loan, and you will receive a low credit score. But if your friendship circle consists of doctors and lawyers who play golf at the weekend, then you will get top marks and a great credit score. As this kind of social big data technology continues to enter the world of financial tech, it's going to get harder and harder to tell the difference from what China is doing right now. But however data is used in the coming decades to control and coerce the population, those who will suffer the greatest are today's youth, the next generation. Everyone who spent the majority of their childhood in the previous millennium, the pre-2000ers, only began using social media after they hit adulthood. So most of the data they have entered into the ominous cloud was during their post-teen years. And that's a big deal, because the vast majority of data never disappears. You can look back at your tweets, Facebook posts, and emails from over 10 years ago. Even if you delete your accounts, they usually remain on a server somewhere in the world, always lurking in the background of your life. The age at which you began posting online makes all the difference to how much your data can be used against you. For one simple reason: we are all utterly moronic when we are teenagers. When you're 13 or 15, you think you know everything, and each and every social media post you make is a masterpiece for the masses. And then you reach your 20s, look back at all those posts, and painfully cringe at your former self. And now social media and the internet has become such an intrinsic part of society that it's almost impossible for a child to grow up without being somewhat immersed in it. Teenagers today live their entire childhood online. Every notion, conversation, and movement they make from child to young adult and beyond is logged in the data sphere for eternity. So, unlike the previous generation, today's youth will grow up with an encyclopedia's worth of embarrassing and damning material that they, or anyone else, can look back on with a simple internet search. This will and is already being used against them. They may already be tainted for life. Some health insurance companies are reportedly looking back at the entire history of people's social media to check if they have ever posted about or alluded to mental health issues. And even if they made one negative tweet 10 years ago about their mental state, they could be refused health insurance or charged a hefty premium. Research has revealed that at least 70% of employers use social media to screen job candidates. You could be refused a job simply because you made a post that could have been construed as racist when you were 14, even though that person was a mere shadow of the person you are now as an adult. And the scariest part is that this screening process has become completely automated using AI. It's happening right now. A handful of startups have developed such algorithms and already have services online that employers can use to do a comprehensive social background check on anyone, simply by typing in their name. The report will even include a computer-generated trust score. Now, doesn't that just remind you of China's social credit score? All this just scratches the surface of what is possible using your data. And it's only going to get more intense and more controlling as algorithms improve and data treasure troves grow deeper over the coming years. It has been said that data is the new oil, and I can easily believe that. More legislation may be needed to transfer the ownership of data from corporations to the individuals who provide it. But until or if that ever happens, it's down to you and you alone to protect your own data and decide whether it's really that essential to post a photo of your latest omelette online, because 5 years down the road, you may be scrambling to wipe your record clean. You can easily limit your exposure online and improve your security and privacy with Dashlane, who have kindly sponsored this video. Dashlane is a password manager and security tool to help you take the first steps towards taking control of your data. Using the same or similar passwords for different websites makes it super easy for hackers to access your entire online world. But Dashlane creates unique, super strong passwords for all of your accounts and also fills them so you never have to click forgot password ever again. Dashlane also autofills your credit card information whilst online shopping, so you can make purchases without having to fetch your wallet. It has a built-in VPN with country select, so you can access any content, stay secure, and protect your privacy all at the same time. With Dashlane, you'll be alerted if any of your accounts or data are breached, and it also has a dark web monitoring system that will immediately let you know if your personal information appears on the dark web, where it can be seen by hackers and spammers. But wait, is this safe? What if Dashlane gets hacked? Well, it's actually safer to put all of your passwords into Dashlane than if not using a password manager. Dashlane safely stores and decrypts your data on your local device only using your master password. This means that Dashlane never has access to your personal data, and in the rare instance that a hacker did breach Dashlane, they would only see random noise. Unlike Keychain, Chrome, Facebook Login, or other login tools that either lock you into a single system, trapping your information in one place, or misuse your data to sell ads, Dashlane works seamlessly across all your devices and believes so strongly in data privacy that they commit to always being an ad-free product. From my experience, Dashlane is the best, all bases covered, security and time-saving tool out there. And if you visit my unique promo link in the description, you can get a free premium trial of Dashlane for 30 days. Plus, if you enter 42 at checkout, you will get 10% off Dashlane Premium. Thanks for watching, and thanks again to Dashlane for sponsoring this video. Don't forget to check them out using the link below.